Yep, you're good.
Call this meeting to order. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Onondaga, Waki, the Ottawa, and Mississaugas people. Confirmation the agenda that the agenda of the June 6, 2020 Committee of Adjustment public meeting be approved as presented. Do I have a mover? Anita moves, Rick seconds. All in favor? Carries. Declaration of pecuniary interest. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yes, thank you, Reeve. Due to my employment, I have a conflict of interest with the applicant, so I will not be participating in the conversation or voting on this matter.
Thank you very kindly. Approval of the meetings of the previous meeting. Do I have a mover? Kevin Faulkner moves. The seconder is Chris Palmer. All in favor? Carries. Statement of procedure that any decision reached by the committee cannot be used as a precedent. Scheduled applications 6.1, file number MV01-2022, location Lot 1, Block 3, Plan 22M13, Blythe Ward, Township of North Huron, Rutledge Street. Application and owners are Rutledge Holding Limited, CO Gary Rutledge. 6.1.1, Hannah Hallman is going to do a presentation from the Huron County Planning Department.
Thank you to the committee for having me this evening. I'll wait to get the lights. Thank you. So as mentioned, this next application is for subject lands located on Rutledge Street on the north end of Blythe. Council may be familiar with these lands as they were subject to a recent draft approved plan of subdivision as of last year. The subject property is zoned R114, which is a residential special zone. The property is currently vacant and is proposed to be used for a single detached dwelling. In terms of the requested variance, the variance requested is to vary the maximum lot coverage that is currently permitted at 35% to 41% to accommodate the single detached dwelling. The site plan for the single detached dwelling is shown here on the screen. And then the elevations for the structure as provided by the applicant are also included here. The application was considered against the 4 tests of the minor variance. It is considered to be minor in nature, desirable for the appropriate development of the lands. It also meets the intent of the North Huron official plan and zoning bylaw as it is for residential use. It is not anticipated that there would be any adverse impacts on the neighboring properties as the required setbacks are still able to be maintained. And township staff expressed that they don't anticipate any concerns with respect to drainage. In terms of comments, as mentioned before, township staff have expressed no concerns. Similarly, Maitland Valley Conservation Authority does not have any concerns. And as of current, we have not received any comments from neighbors or members of the public. In terms of the recommendation, it is recommended that the application be approved subject to the following standard conditions: that the structure be constructed within the footprint contained in the sketch that accompanied the application, and that the structure be constructed as shown in the elevation drawings that accompanied the application. And then also just a reminder to the committee that a second motion to the effect of public and agency comments will also be required. So I'm happy to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Okay, thank you very much, Hannah. Any questions for Hannah at this time? Not.
You just want to go through all
Yeah.
the steps here first.
Yeah. Okay. 6.1.2, opportunity for comments for the application by applicant and or agent. Is Gary or anybody out here that would like to speak to this? Not seeing or hearing anybody. Opportunity to comment by others in attendance. Is there anyone else in attendance who would like to speak to this? Not hearing anybody speak up. Opportunity for questions, comments up by the committee and adjustment members. Would anybody like to speak to this? I think it's pretty straightforward. Not seeing anyone. Summary comments and recommendations of the Huron County Planning Development Department. Okay. Decision, we have 2 motions before us, and the decision of the Committee of Adjustment and the effects of the comments received on the committee's decision. that the Committee of the Adjustment hereby approves minor variance application MV01-2022 as it applies to Lot 1, Block 3, Plan 22M12, Blythe Ward, Township of North Huron, Rutledge Street. Applicant owners, Rutling Holdings Limited, CO Gary Rutledge, with the conditions set out on the report presented by Hannah Holman, planner, at the June 6, 2022 Committee of Adjustment hearings. Do I have a mover? I have Rick McBurney moving. Seconder, please, would be Paul Heffer. All in favor? Carries. The second motion that the minor variance application MV01-2022, Hannah, could you give us a recommendation for those two? Thank you.
Yes. So I recommend that the committee select option A2, that no public comments were received on this application, so there was no effect on the decision, and that option B3 be selected, that agency comments were received in support of the application, the effect of which resulted in a decision to approve the application.
Thank you very kindly. Do I have a mover? I have Kevin Faulkner moving. Seconder would be Rick McBurney. All in favor? Carries. Thank you. Reminder of appeal period. Minor variance procedures following a public meeting. The Secretary Treasurer sends within 10 days a certified copy of the decision indicating the last day of appeals to the Ontario Land Tribunal. 2. The applicant, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs, Housing, if requested. Each person who appeared in person or by counsel at the hearing or who filed with the Secretary Treasurer a written request of notice of the decision. If no appeal is lodged after the 20-day objection period has expired and no appeal has been lodged, the decision of the Committee of Adjustment is final and binding. The Secretary Treasurer shall notify the applicant if a notice of appeal is lodged. If within 20 days of the Committee of Adjustment making the decision and an appeal is lodged with the Secretary Treasurer outlining the reasons for such an appeal, and said appeal is accompanied by the required fee of $400, the Committee of Adjustment no longer retains jurisdiction over the applicant. If a proper appeal is lodged, the Secretary Treasurer is required to provide proper notice to the Ontario Land Tribunal. Adjournment. Being no further business before the Committee of Adjustment, the public hearing hereby ends at 5:40. Do I have a mover? I have Anita moving. Do I have a seconder? Paul seconds. All in favor? Carries. Adjournment. Oh, I just did that.
You're good.
Thanks, Hannah.